Holy shit, man. I've been trying to do I used to do a video every day. For anybody that's been here for any length of time, you probably know that. But this past week, or really ever since Trump got in, I've been shooting stuff, right, and then coming home to and then trying to edit it, and then I'll look at the internet, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. So that what I just talked about that I filmed is kind of irrelevant, because I was talking about the the reaction to him getting in. And I've done videos before in the past about exactly how the Trump spell works. It was a spell, not just the fact that he's a spellcaster, all presidents are. They cast the spell from the oligarchs, and they set into motion the things that the weirdos at the top of the pyramid want. But there's a spell centered around him. It's like a glamour. I don't think you'd qualify it as a charm. But it's lesser magic, because it's mind control. Anything hypnotism or controlling someone's mind is lesser magic. However, this is lesser magic done on an industrial scale. But the thing with Trump is the spell associated with him is the way it affects people. Is it's a authority figure type spell, a male authority figure. The people that freak out, the reason they're freaking out, like for women and men it's different. For men, it's because they're reacting to a father who either left or is no longer in their life. They have a father problem, father abandonment. I've seen this happen with people going crazy about him whose dads died when they were young, and they're crazy because there's some resentment. So when they see him, they're reacting to that. Women are reacting to a male authority figure in kind of like an abusive way. It reminds them of a stepfather, maybe a handsy uncle, someone that wronged them in some way. That's what they're reacting to. These are all people looking at him and reacting to a dad, And I got into more detail about it and how the ripple effect of that spell works and how it was carried into COVID. I'll come around to that again. But just to keep it what I was saying here, every night I go home to do something to edit one of these things, and I look online, it's like people are fucking losing their shit. Middle-aged women are talking about shooting people in the street. It just keeps getting more extreme every day, and that's why by the time I go to edit this shit, it's like, wow. It's to a point where I'm watching this thing last night because people are compiling these freakouts, these TikTok freakouts. They're compiling them with the social media freakouts, and so you can see a slew of this shit. And this woman that I was watching in one of these compilations saying that if you're a white man and I see you walking down the street, you don't even have to approach me. I'm going to shoot you with a Glock. With a Glock 9. And I'm like, what the fuck? And she's not the only one talking like that. You've probably seen it. Maybe not that particular one, but the threats toward men, white men in particular. You can't talk like that on fucking internet, and they're all talking like that. I'm going to kill you, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. One of the first times I got banned here was for inciting violence. Now, the reason I got banned for inciting violence is because I named the video in question, Where We Go One, We Go All, was not in reference to Q. That was just a popular saying at the time, and I was repurposing that saying for a video about death. Like, when we die, no one goes anywhere because there's no time anywhere else. So to move on from here, we're all going to go at once, because beyond the fact that time doesn't exist anywhere but here, we're all the same being, we're all the same consciousness. So we all go together. Where we go one, we go all. It had nothing to do with Trump. And I got a week banned for inciting violence because I used that title. These motherfucking bitches are talking about murdering people. One after the other, after the other, after the other. I would be dragged out of this house by glow ends so fast, like I wouldn't be done typing it. It's fucking crazy. And some of them are school teachers. It's an irrational reaction because of the spellcraft involved. A lot of these people are demon infested as well. You know, regular people could have demons in them. It's whether the demon you can get to the surface or not. You know, like I always go look in the neighborhood for demonic entities. And I started doing that only because they started coming to me, you know, originally. And it's weird. Now I went, once I figured out what they were, now I go looking for them. It's very rare to get one. The last time I got a good one, I really blew it. But anyway, it's not a whole nother thing. But yeah, they're going fucking ham. Like, I'm starting to feel like a certain type of way. You know, I'm looking around me. You know, I'm very white, and I got a nice cheekbones, very square jaw, very light hair, green eyes. Am I at risk? Am I in danger? I don't know why they think like, well, here's what happened. Here's what I think happened. People tend to, you know, when it comes to politics especially, they tend to exist in echo chambers. I do too, you know, we all do. A lot of people don't want to be challenged on things. And I'm the same way, to a certain extent, you know. But so these people were in this bubble where they were being told all this stuff about this guy. And they were told that his followers, which I'm going to know what that means, but his followers were a small but vocal group of incel, Nazi, racist, all this stuff, right? So now the guy wins the presidency back. That's more than half the country. They've been lied to. They're realizing that most people in the country wanted this guy in. So this is like world shattering to these people. They're like, what? But he's a Nazi. He's not. He's not a criminal. He's never done any of the things that they're saying he does. And, you know, they have all these weird stories, like, that are just lies. They just kind of caught on after a while. And they think that this guy's fucking Hitler. So then they're realizing that, you know, they've been lied to. They've been in this bubble. They figure that, you know, Kamala's going to win, and it's going to be business as usual. They had no idea, you know. So they're having trouble with that. And on top of it, you know, it's also the spellcraft thing is what's going on. But every time I go to edit a video, you know, I'll start doing it and I'll be surfing the web on my other device, and I'll just see things getting crazier and crazier. These death threats. They're all making these death threats about killing him, killing you, killing. It's fucking madness. Like, to really follow up on all these threats, and you really should. You don't know. But the FBI would have to expand like 100-fold to do so. Chances are nothing's going to happen, because here's the thing. The narrative in the country has been the biggest problem facing society is white males, white Christians, Christian teas, terrorists, that's the biggest problem. They don't exist, though. So, not to get into it, but there are authorities, different agencies that have a budget to go after these people. They don't exist, so they have to make them. Sometimes they go as far as roping in autistic people, mentally challenged people, to fill this need to bust these people that don't exist, right? So it wouldn't behoove them to arrest these middle-aged progressives, because that's not their target for this kind of stuff. If it was the other way around, it was all white Christian dudes freaking out on the computer saying all this stuff, they would definitely expand the FBI. They'd get everybody. So nothing's going to happen to these people because of that. It's too bad. I mean, the way my whole political thing, and it sucks because it's the thing I like talking about the least, but it's the biggest spiritual war story going on right now, and as a spiritual war correspondent, I feel like I've been negligent in my coverage of this, but a lot of other people are covering this whole story. I don't know. All you get from me is just my spin, and we'd be interrupted by Carl occasionally. I'm going to get back on the horse and start putting out stuff daily again. I have a whole bunch of stuff in my folder, but it's like by the time I go to look at it, it's like it's gotten so insane that's kind of irrelevant. There was one video I did about the globalization of music, how they're trying to get third world music in the first world countries, how they started with WOMAD. Who gives a fuck? Another thing is about how the CIA, again, and I know I make a lot of videos about this and talk about it, but how the CIA brought all the black people here who didn't used to live here. And I'm always worried about talking about that, but I talked to a guy today, I'm not going to mention where or how, but who knew all the same stuff I did, watched the whole thing happen, and I never talked to anyone about it that knew as much as I did about it in person. I discussed this with people online. They simply didn't live here before. We didn't have black people here. Now it looks like it's 50% of the population. And I detailed how this happened. In fact, I have a video sitting in the hopper that I haven't edited, which explains the whole thing in detail, because I felt I needed to do it for the 8th or 9th time. But I got that going on too, and that seems, to be less important than the insanity that's happening now on the internet. I don't know what else I have to say about it, other than it's pretty fucked up. That's the whole thing. I'm figuring out now, maybe I should have just kept editing that stuff. But anyway, yeah, women are losing their minds because I do, and they constructed this fantasy world in their head. Again, magic plays a big part in this, which it does in your everyday life all the time, whether you know it or not. And that world was shattered, and you're seeing them not coping with it very well. When you have school teachers making death threats to the general public, it's really specific ones too. That lady I was talking about earlier, a Glock, my favorite gun. It's because it's the only one I can really hit anything with. I'm not a very good shot. And yeah, I use 2 hands with the Glock. Yeah, call me a pussy if you want, but I mean, I don't have one now. I'm not sad. Please don't send the ice cream van to my house. But the thing is, if I came over from Haiti in the last few years, I'd have one, because I think the CIA hands them out with every new arrival here, because they all seem to have them. If you've seen all the crime going on here, 80% spike in homicides in 1 year, and almost 50% spike in violent crime in 1 year. I mean, gun crimes, you know, things we've never seen here before, you know. But it was really good talking to that guy, because kind of, sometimes I feel like I'm losing my mind about it. Like, I've talked to people about it online. I've done videos on it, kind of outlining how it all happened. But I've never talked to anyone in person who had this level of information I had. You know, he's telling me some stuff, I telling him some stuff. I've had people email me stuff about it. You know, that's how I learned about the SSDI thing. But yeah, he had some pieces of the puzzle too, and it was nice to talk to him, because it's like, wow, another person here that watched it all happen. And like he was saying, he's like, they are having a tough time here. You can see them. They're all looking like they don't know where they're going. They don't belong here. They don't fit in here at all. They're not like, their whole vibe does not align with the kind of vibe that's here in Hawaii at all. At all. Low impulse, hyper violent. It's not going to work out in the long run. The thing is, like, a lot of the guys that would probably be the ones to defend their island are gone. You know, those are people that got hardest hit by the shenanigans of COVID when they withheld the emergency funds. Generational islanders whose family have lived here for decades, or had some kind of Hawaiian blood or some kind of Hawaiian ancestry, they're all gone. They were the ones hardest hit. Because if you're Asian or Caucasian, you had to move here, which means you either have some kind of money or you have some kind of thing set up here. You know, like, I have family here, because it's just so expensive to live here. And now you have all these people here who don't pay to live here, that were constantly told are on the lowest economic rung and need the most help. But how the fuck did they all move, you know, next door to me? I know we're barely staying here. It's so expensive to live here, you know, and they're on the government, you know. It's pretty crazy. So yeah, I had a lot going on this morning. But yeah, I'm gonna crack down and edit some of this stuff and get it out. It's just that I start working on one and I see what's going on, and I'm just like, fuck. Yeah, it's kind of irrelevant to talk about the World of Music and Dance Festival, how it was founded in 1982, and how it almost bankrupted Peter Gabriel. Our Pete, you know? Genesis had to step in, bail him out. That just doesn't seem to be relevant, you know? But I'm going to finish that stuff, and I'm going to go up now and try to pump something out. I'm going to get this one out right away. Just to, not to really explain my absence. It really hasn't been much of an absence, and I don't think anyone really is looking for me. Except the people that are paid to watch me. They're probably like, what's up with him? Do you know where he is? Ping his phone and see where he is. Oh, he's at home. You know, those people are probably wondering where I am. All those people that jumped on after the video I made about homeless people being picked up to be part of the organ trade. And the guy that usually gets 24 views a video got 1,500. And then suddenly I had a big uptick in all these demographics that I didn't have before. Just that one video, right? And then everything went back to kind of normal. I mean, I've had other videos that my Duran Duran videos and other things I've done pretty well, but not that well. I think a lot of people in these that get paid to watch people like me, that's how I got picked up on by them. So they're probably wondering where I am, but they you know, like I said, they can just ping my phone and see where I've been. How you doing, guys? You know, it's never too late to change the path you're on, buddies. Do the right thing. Because when this wraps up, Satan doesn't win. He's already lost. He's going to be in a lot of trouble. You can't, God is going to, Jesus is coming back with a sword. He's coming back with a sword. And he's all out of bubble gum. Until next time, thanks for dropping in. And don't blame the teacher. Blame the school. This is now a Schizo Garage and Batcave HNL joint episode. One thing I forgot to add to that whole thing I was talking about is, as a guy that's always tried to stay out of the political thing, because neither side would accept me, I have too many deal breakers that would preclude me from being accepted into either group. Of course, being a sane person, I would definitely more align myself with a conservative viewpoint. But I've never really picked a side, because I don't feel like any of them represent me, and beyond that, I know that it's bullshit. They're both owned by the same people. It ends up with the government. The government doesn't care about you. They fucking want you dead. Well, they want you sick first, so they can drain you of whatever remaining loosh they can get, and then they want you dead. But yeah, this kind of behavior, watching these progressives do this, is like sending me running into the arms of the alt-right. I don't know who the alt-right is, though. You hear that fucking, you hear that terminology, and it's like, I don't think I know anyone that's not a glow end that has described themselves as alt-right. Like, what do you have to gain from that? And what does it even mean? I don't even know what it is. When you listen to progressives talk about it, it's like you'd think there was like a headquarters somewhere, like a Legion of Doom coming out of the swamp or something, blah, 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 blah. And who's in there, like Richard Spencer, Sam Hyde, Murdoch in cartoon form. Yeah, it sends me right in that direction, because these people want to kill me. You know, I knew black people wanted to kill me, but I didn't know that middle-aged white women want to kill me too. It's like, Jesus, I gotta really watch my back out there, because we have a huge population of both. White men, women we always had. The black people are a new thing. That's a post-COVID situation. I almost said there's a post-COVID problem, but I'm not racist, so I didn't say that. I'm a diversity critic. It's very different. It's a very different thing. No, I'm just kidding. I'm racist. Till next time. Look at this absolute unit.
Alert.
Wow, that didn't do much.
Villains beware. Engines at full power. Crime doesn't stand a chance.
He's pretty big too. Yeah, like, he goes off by himself in the room and he's always making noise, but now I put him on camera and he's shy. Like an asshole.